Happy Sunday, my name is Abel Galaz and I'm doing numbers 5 and 6 for the exam. So we'll begin by finding the auxiliary equation, which would be m squared minus 2m plus 1 equals 0. Now, since it's pretty small numbers and 1 goes into 2 times evenly, you could just rewrite it as m minus 1 to the second power, which is equivalent to the m squared minus 2m plus 1, which would be equal to 0. Now, because this is such a simple m minus 1, m will be equal to plus or minus 1. That means the yc is equal to c1 ex plus c2 xex. Now, you want to first rewrite this as y equals, you want to write it in the general solution, which is going to be y equals a x plus b x. Now that we have the general solution, you want to take the derivative of the first derivative and as well as the second derivative after that. Sorry. Erase this. This is for space. I'll write it right here. But then be x ex plus a prime x ex plus a prime x ex. Now this section will be equal to 0, which will make the first derivative equal to ax ex plus bx x ex plus bx ex by itself. Now I want to take the second derivative, which will begin with the same. It will eventually be the same plus the bx prime on this side. x ex plus b prime x. So with that, the next step would be to rewrite all three of the versions of the equations, the original, and then the first and second derivative. We'll replace it into this first equation, our original equation. So it'd be the second derivative minus 2 by the first derivative times the first derivative plus the original, which will be equal to x squared. And you do that in order to cancel out the ex on this side and inside the equation. Minus the 2 from here, and then you're going to rewrite this whole equation again. Bx times ex, and then it'll be added by this last equation plus a and it'll all be equal to ex squared. Now with that, we want to simplify the equation, which will ultimately leave us with a prime x plus b prime x plus b prime x to the x, which will be equal to 1 over x squared, because this ex and every other ex in the equation cancels out. Now, the next step would be to the next step would be to substitute the ax into a prime x to b prime x. Since we made in this first differential, we made a1x ex, this whole equation part is equal to 0. So if you were to subtract the b prime x to the bx to the x e to the x, you would get, this essentially comes out to a prime x ex equal to negative b prime x ex. You would substitute this into this, so it'd be negative b x ex plus b x plus, and we'll write the first x in front into 1 over x squared. Now that we have this, we can go ahead and simplify, which will leave us with b prime x is equal to 1 x squared. Now you're gonna want to integrate both sides. So is be the integral of b x equal to the integral of 1 over x squared dx. Now this side will just be bx without the prime, because the antiderivative. But taking the derivative of 1 over x squared, you will be left off with 1 over x. Sorry, negative 1 over x. Plus c. Now from here, you want to solve for the a prime x. So a prime x equal to the negative x negative x b prime x, which will be equal to negative x, and you'd plug in the b prime x from here. So it'd be 1 negative 1 over x. Oh, b prime from this one, so this is not b prime. So it'd be 1 over x squared, which will be equal to negative 1 over x. Now you want to find, again, the limit of both sides, so I want to take the integral. Dx over x, and this will be equal to negative ln x. So now ax has a value of negative ln x, and bx has a value of negative 1 over x. Now with that, you want to write the full equation down again. So using this original equation, we're going to plug in the general solution, which is c1ex plus c2xex and then we're going to subtract, I'm sorry, just write that a different way. This would be negative ln x plus c, about that, which would be multiplied by ex, e to the power x, minus, and the minus is from the negative 1 over x, or x plus c to the ex. Now simplified, this would be y equals c1 ex plus c2 ex. Now you want to combine the negative ln x with the 1 over x, so it'd be minus ex over x ln x, and that's the solution. Now for number 6, you want to determine the suitable YP, and for that we're going to start with the first one, which is y double prime minus 9y equal to 6. Sorry. Negative 6 cosine 3x. So you want to find the auxiliary. M2 minus 9 is equal to 0. This one's a lot easier as it's only one variable. So you want to put the variable on one side. So you want to add the 9 on this side. But in order to get the square root, you're going to want to square root both sides in order to get rid of this power of 2, which will make m3. Now, because of the underdetermined coefficients and the cosine in the equation, yp is going to be equal to, the general solution is a cosine x plus b sine x. Now I want to plug in 3 for both. Yp is equal to a cosine 3x plus b sine 3x. And then that's the solution for the first one. b plus 2x prime plus x equal to 4 to negative t. So we're going to do again auxiliary m squared plus 2m plus 1 is equal to 0. And because this one has 2 variables, we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. And that will be looking such as negative 2. We'll use a 2 first. Two squared minus 4 AC, which would be 1 and 1, so just 1, all divided by 2A, which is also 1. And with that, this would be equal to 4, so the inside is 0. So it'd be negative 2 plus or minus square root of 0 over 2. 2 over 2 is going to equal to negative 1 because of the negative. So m is equal to negative 1. The equation will be written such as, in the form of at squared plus bt plus c to the e negative t due to this. And that's b. Now for c, it's going to be y double prime plus 2y prime minus 2y prime plus 5y is equal to 10x squared 3x minus 3. Again, with the auxiliary, and it's going to have to require the quadratic formula once more due to the double variable. Now, it'd be m is equal to b, which is negative 2 again. And then plus or minus negative 2 squared minus 4 AC again. 1 times 5 all over 2a again. Now this would be 4 minus 20, which is going to be square root of 16. Negative 4 oh no. No, yes, 4 minus 20, which is going to be 16. It's going to be 2, as in the two negatives will turn into a positive, plus minus negative 16, negative 16 as its second greater, 2, 4, 2. So it's equal to 2 plus 4 over 2. So we'll have two outcomes as it's plus or minus. The plus side will be equal to 1 plus 2, right? And the negative side will be equal to 1 minus 2. Right? So we have our two m values, but we're going to stick with the positive. With that, we're going to rewrite our equation, like P. And it's essentially the same as the first x. Oops. But it won't be multiplied by the e to the negative t. And this one has a lot simpler equation, but that's going to be the answer. Lastly, we have y double prime minus 3y prime is equal to negative 12t. M squared minus 3m plus 0 equal to 0. And I just added the plus 0 because, again, the quadratic formula is going to have to be used. So m is equal to minus negative 3 plus or minus square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times a, c, and a is 1, c is 0, divided by 2a. Now with this, we'll get 0 on the right side of the square root, and we get 9 as the square root value, so it's going to be equal to positive 3 as the two negatives equal to positive, square root of 9 over 2, and that's going to be equal to 3 plus 3 over 2, which is equal to, if it's positive or minus, it's either going to be equal to positive is 3 minus 0. 3 divided by 2 is 1/2. 1/2 is 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. If it's negative, you have a 0 on top, which is going to make the whole thing 0. With that, you want to write the last equation. 8t2 plus 8t. And there's no 0 for this equation, as there is no third, as zeros and for c right here is there's nothing, there's no value, so there's no c value, and that's the equation. Thank you very much. Catch you on the next one.